Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here, and a little bit of trouble when we started the last live stream, so I had to cancel it and restart again. So apologies to anyone who was on the previous stream. So lots going on in the markets today. Last night we heard about the Bitcoin ETF was supposedly delayed. There was arguments about it. It's delayed, it's not delayed. The majority of people were talking about it being delayed. Since all of that started, we've seen some articles taking down that we're talking about it being delayed, because it seems that it's not delayed. They made an announcement to say that they are looking into it now. The market has gone bullish on it, so we'll take a look at the charts, take a look at some of the levels that we flew through last night and where we could potentially go. And I cannot do a live stream without looking at Ripple, which is tearing it up the last 3-4 days, and I missed that train. I had been kind of watching it, waiting to see could we get a pullback, but it is just steamrolling ahead. As you can see here, Ripple has passed Ethereum on CoinMarketCap, so Ripple has become the number 2 cryptocurrency in terms of market cap right now. It has gone up to 66 cents. Let's refresh this page and see. So we're still on 66 cent. It has gone up 13% in the last hour. In the last 24 hours, it's gone up just under 80%. It did shoot up to 70 cents just before I started this video, but it has came down slightly now. So there would be obviously people taking profits. I thought people would be taking profits before this. I expect there are a lot of traders involved in it that are not in it so much for the technology or Ripple as a currency. They're just in to trade in and trade out. But this one is really not slowing down at the minute, and I don't expect it to slow down a huge amount right up to the conference that Ripple are having in another week or two, where Bill Clinton is talking. They brought out some announcements in the last few days that have giving people a lot of hope on where Ripple is going, lots of partnership talks, and then people are expecting even bigger news at the conference. So I would say, coming from a trading side, I do expect that once the conference starts, that you will see a decent pullback in it, because you will have a lot of people, as they say, you buy the rumors and sell the news. Overall, looking at CoinMarketCap, let's go to the homepage, you can see it's a very green day. It's a nice day to see, as we have had a lot of down days in the last while, and it is good to see some positivity. Even when you start looking at social networks, everyone is starting to get positive. ETF last night, you've seen so many people talking about, oh, it's delayed and we're expecting it and all this, but the market didn't really react. If we look at it here, it was around this time last night, so we did get a small bit of a dump. There was people on Twitter I was following, they were saying, oh, it's all going to dump now, it's all going to go down because of this delay. But then as people started to actually read the details and see that it's not actually delayed yet, and even if it does end up being delayed next week, it's still not a bad thing. You can see people saying that, oh wait, the SEC are just saying that they're actually looking into it now, so they're examining the comments. We'll look at a few of the articles on it now in a minute, and you can see it started to rise then just after that, and continue to rise through the night and even through the day. So at the minute we are way up here. If we look at the levels that we talked about before, you can see this is where we were stuck. We were stuck below the 6,500, 6,600 level. So we have pushed up above that today and pushed way up through it with this daily candle. So if the market continues moving up, if you were looking at this just technically, not thinking that the Bitcoin ETF talk is all there on the side, you will be looking at this in terms of coming up to the downward pressure that we see here. So this is the downtrend that we have been watching since January. So looking at this, if we had another 1 or 2 candles pushing up towards it, we're going to be somewhere between the $6,900 and the $7,000 level is where we will start to see a lot of resistance technically. Now, the news and everything like that, as I always say, you can never go fully on technicals, especially with cryptocurrency. You have to keep an eye on what's going on in the news, because if the ETF got this, I don't expect it to be approved next week. I do think we will get a delay on it, but it is moving slightly different than the other one. So the SEC didn't make announcements like they made last night about the other ETFs, although the other ETFs were based on futures rather than on physical Bitcoin. Well, as physical as you can get with a digital currency, but meaning that this ETF is actually backed by real Bitcoin and real currencies rather than actually being just on futures. So you have to keep an eye on that over the next few days. If there's no word on that in the next week, then we will definitely push towards the $6,900 and $7,000 level. So again, if we can get pushed through this, do not be surprised if you see it coming up here and getting rejected again like we did here and here. But I think if we can push up this time, we will get through it, unless the Bitcoin ETF came out and was rejected or something like that, which I do not see. Whatever about getting an approval out of nowhere, because if you look at all the news lately, the actual guys who are on the, well, women, men, here we say guys for both, they are bringing in more people that are actually pro on the Bitcoin side. So I think on the team now, I don't know, is it 3 people are in there now that are looking at this ETF that are very bullish on cryptocurrencies in general. So that is very good. Whether it's going to get improved by next week, that is still very doubtful. But this ETF in general, there's another time frame that it could be delayed until the 29th of December, something like that. Could it be approved before the new year? I think yes, that is a possibility. There's lots of talk that we have to wait until February, which is the last deadline they can take. But I think we could see something before that, either approval or denial. I am leaning more on the approval, especially when BACT comes in November, and the positivity will be really big in the actual market. We could see some very big moves. Ripple, let's see where it is right now. So Ripple's market cap has gone over 25 billion. It did go over 26 billion just before I came on the video. As it went past Ethereum, it went up like 2 billion or 3 billion within an hour. As soon as it started to pass Ethereum, you could see a lot of money pile in, and now we've seen some of that profit being taken back out. But this train, I don't think is going to stop anytime soon. As I say, I didn't get onto it. It's one currency that I do own a tiny amount. I think I own 200 Ripple from April or May timeframe last year. That's just sitting in a wallet that I haven't done anything with. I'm sorry, now I didn't buy in the last few weeks. But look, this is the same with all currencies. I would say do not get a huge FOMO and jump into this at the absolute high that it could be on now. I don't think this is the complete high. Like if you look back to, where was this? This was back in December. It was up at 234 and the market cap was 90 billion there. So to even just get back to the all-time high, there is still a huge way to go. So there is definitely lots of potential long term. There's lots of people who cannot stand Ripple. I've been watching lots of them, and even they are kind of looking at Ripple thinking, oh shit, why didn't I get into it, or why didn't I buy some? And I would say even some of the haters probably have maybe bought in and will sell out just to get in for the gains, even though they don't want to say publicly that they are buying up Ripple. So again, I'll put a link to this. This was the Bitcoin ETF talk yesterday from the SEC. This is their official announcement. So when you go through it, you don't actually see them say it's going to be delayed to a certain date. We are waiting on a further update from them in the next week. Next week was the deadline that they had to make a decision whether they delay it, approve it, or what they do with it. So we're waiting on that over the next week is really what we have to do. So look, you can go through it. There's a lot of legal terms, technicalities. Different people read it in different ways as well. But I'll put the link down below for everyone to check out. So again, these articles, as I say, have changed in the last 12 hours. People were saying first it was delayed, and now they're actually reading it and seeing that the SEC are going to begin reviewing the physically backed ETF. So they're going to examine, they got 1,400 comments. That's when some of the previous videos I said they had put it out there that they wanted opinions on it. So they wanted to get more comments on it, what it's all about. So look, they don't have the full experience in cryptocurrency. Obviously, they're bringing more people into the table now that do have it, which is good for us who are bullish on cryptocurrency, that they are bringing in people like that. So again, all it means is they're looking into it. That was a search on the BTF. That is the article. Again, I'm not going to go through it. There's enough of people doing videos on this today, going through, reading every bit of an article. I'm just giving my 2 cents on the whole thing. Again, looking at some of the headlines, so we see this was earlier on, 20 billion in 2 days has been added to the market cap. Let's see where it's at right now. 226 billion at the minute. So it is nice to see it up from last week. We were under 200 billion. The Bitcoin dominance is down slightly, so we are seeing a bit of a run in the altcoins. So if you look at this against Bitcoin, you will see a lot of the altcoins are even up against Bitcoin in the last 24 hours. XRP, crazy gains against Bitcoin. You just don't see this for big market cap coins. In general, you nearly never see these kind of gains. Stellar is another one that I think has a long way to go as well. Generally, this one does follow Ripple or XRP. Some would say you can't call it Ripple because there's the divide with the technology and the currency and all that. Not getting into that in this video. But in general, nice gains all the way down. Tether is the only one down. Usually when we see any rise in Bitcoin, you see Tether goes down because people cash out of USDT. VeChain slightly down. Dogecoin, but in general, very, very green. Australia bringing out, again, we're seeing lots of these stable coins coming out now. It's one that I'll do a specific video on stable coins rather than getting into it now, but we are seeing more and more. We've seen the Winklevoss twins brought out. Theirs is slightly different. Theirs is an actual, it's like a stable coin, but it's backed by actual US dollars, which is good to see. In general, the news I see, which one was it? On the ICOs. ICOs are starting to get looked at a lot closer. Is the market dead for ICOs? I would have said that it is really on its last legs. They need to reinvent it. There needs to be new ways of when they take in the funds, how it's monitored, what is actually given to the project. Again, that's one for another day, but we do see a lot of areas, a lot of governments looking to crack down on ICOs, and specifically illegal ICOs, because there are some genuine companies out there trying to do really good things, but they get so bogged down from the bad press from all other ICOs that they don't really have a chance. So if we do get regulation in that space, now regulation to a certain degree, then I think it will be good. As well, we see, I don't understand this, California watchdog bans Bitcoin donations in political campaigns. To me, this is just stupid because they are blocking out backers that they could be getting. So is this their way of looking at it, that they don't want politicians to be given cryptocurrency so that they start looking at it and start maybe looking at laws to go better on cryptocurrency? That I don't know. Is this a way that they just want to try and push cryptocurrency down again? I don't think it's going to really work. Again, it's going to shoot themselves in the foot. They don't get as many donations, and then where are they going to be? This kind of thing will be turned around in time, I think, as well. Look guys, that's it. I am leaving it at a quick live stream today, and in general, things are looking positive. Nice to come into the weekend on a positive note. As I said, the levels you need to watch are the 6,900 up to the 7,000 level over the next few days. Let's see, can we break that, and then we can start to finally get out of this really bad downtrend. So after that, you look at 7.3. Again, you look at the lower highs here of 8.4. So these will be the next peaks that we have to try and break through coming up towards the end of the year. And I do think we will get above these ones definitely before the end of the year. As always, I'm not a financial advisor, sharing my opinions. Let me know down below what you think. Give the video a like, give it a share if you got some value, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in.